What's going on YouTube? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update today of Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Omise Go. Those are the four that we're going to be going over today. And what I want to start out here is on the 4-hour time frame. And what you can see is this little mixture between our symmetrical triangle and a pennant that we've been dealing with. We've been bouncing back and forth within this triangle. We ended up having a break to the downside. But as I've talked with you guys about many times, a lot of times the price will want to go back and try to get within this bottom trend line here, or at least test it. And that's where we're at right now. What Bitcoin needs to do is get over top of about $9,314, and that would also get us back within this triangle here. And then that would maybe give us enough room to go back up and try to test the upper limits of this triangle here and see if we could maybe get over top of that 9,878 would be what we're looking for. And you can also see we got a little bounce off that 8,799 where we had our horizontal line here acting as support. That's an area we would have wanted to see support off of, and we got it. The thing that's making me a little bit nervous here is with this reaction back up, you can see the volume's nothing special here. This isn't a big volume reaction back to the upside. So that's something I'm paying a lot of attention to, guys, because typically if it's going to be a real strong move there, you're going to get a lot of volume. Like after this dump, you see this where we had these tweezer bottoms here and we made this real strong move up. Take a look at the volume down in here. It's much more than what we're dealing with here on this reaction. So to me, that's kind of tipping me off that unless the volume really starts swelling throughout the day, this could be an area where we see another failure. So you really need to be careful in this spot. Right now, what we're looking at though for Bitcoin here, if you take a look at the technicals here, it's showing 3 sell, 8 neutral, 17 buy on the 1 day. In terms of the 1 week, you're looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, 17 buy. And then on the 1 month, you're looking at a 2 sell, 9 neutral, 13 buy. Excuse me. And then on the 4-hour time frame, you can see a 1 sell, 9 neutral, and 18 buy. And what's that showing, guys, is this move that has been happening right here, trying to get back up within this trend line. But the main thing for me, like I told you, is just watch that volume. I'm not saying we can't pop up here and this be a little bottom for us and we come back up and we get inside this triangle again where we can start challenging that $10,000. But I think this is just an area to be careful because we are dealing with this lower volume as we're making our move up. We need that volume to swell. I can't overemphasize how important volume is. Now, in terms of indicators, what we're looking at here for our relative strength index, you can see we were gaining some strength here as we made this move up. We were making higher highs and higher lows, and now we're coming up to the resistance on the RSI of around 65 we're going to need to get over. Then it'd be around that 71 is what we'd be looking at there. And remember, this is on the 4-hour time frame. We're sitting at 64 right now, so there is still more room to come back up here and try to get through the top of this triangle if we are to make a nice move to the upside for Bitcoin. So that's Bitcoin on the 4-hour time frame, guys. Like I said, I just would want to see us get back within this triangle, get over top of 9,338, because overall we still are in that macro downtrend overall. And we have to be aware of that the lower highs still have been coming in, as you can see here. Let my chart load a little bit. We're having a storm right now, so just bear with me with the internet connection. But you can see the lower highs starting right here at $14,000, and then we had that $10,500, which we need to get over. Then we had that $10,000. Then we had the $9,800, and now we have that $9,300 that we're going to need to get back up above. But you see the volume here. Looking at this on the 4-hour, see how the volume has tailed off here. So this is an area to be extremely careful, guys. That's just my opinion, because overall in this secondary move that we've had, if we take our Fibonacci and we go from our low up to our high, we really haven't retraced that much. We came down, we retraced to the 0.236, but typically, guys, we get big retracements in this space, you know, back down to the 0.5, the 0.618 before we make that next move to the upside. So just be cautious here. That's more so what I can say to y'all. Just be cautious with Bitcoin there. So that's Bitcoin, guys. You get some from that. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, putting those exclamations down there, just points, anything is going to help me with the algorithm, guys. Even if you just put the letter A, letter S, whatever, it's going to help us out with the algorithm, and I appreciate that for the people who do that and give us the thumbs up. So next, what we're going to do, we're going to move into Ethereum. Take a look at ETH. ETH is up above that 205 we've been talking about for the longest time now. And what you can see with Ethereum now, we're starting to get a little move out through this top trend line. Now, this yellow trend line was drawn on the 1-day time frame, but we're going to start in here on the 4-hour time frame first and see what Ethereum needs to get over top of. Ethereum needs to break 210 is the area we're going to look at. Then it's going to be overhead resistance around that 215, and then it's going to be up around 225 is what we're going to have as our overhead resistances that we need to get up through. And you can see the squeezing again. Lower highs, higher lows. So we're getting into that symmetrical triangle type form here. So what we need to hold as support is going to be $196 for Ethereum. And if we jump out to the 1-day time frame for ETH, this is where I'm really looking for that trend line break to see if we get it. Because if we do get it, we could run hard and fast, very aggressively, all the way back up to probably around that $284 if we get a true trend line break out of here. So what you can see is this yellow trend line right here. And we're getting to that point where we're going to see if we can get that nice 3 to 5% candle close up above that trend line. But same deal here, the volume is weaker. We need to be aware of that volume, guys. That a lot of times that'll tell the story. If we break out of here, it needs to be on heavy volume. We have to have it. Otherwise, it's just going to be a fake breakout, and then it'll be a nasty dump to the downside. I promise you that. So that's why volume is so important. You want to see that buying pressure come in. On the 1-day time frame for the RSI, very neutral here. Same deal, getting extremely tight. We're at 55. It truly could break either way, guys, and that's why you have to have these alarms. You have to have support and resistance, everything mapped out, and that's why I try to go through it for you so you can create your own plan for what you're trying to do in terms of trading. Next one I wanted to look at here was our stock RSI. In this area, we are starting to get a bullish stock cross right up in this area, and you can see how we've had higher lows on the stock too. So maybe that's going to be enough to help get us to the upside, but we're going to need to have that volume as well, guys. So that's Ethereum. Really keep an eye on that, because that a lot of the times can help lead those altcoins as well, and we can really get some nice strong moves out of there. So that's Bitcoin and Ethereum. You like me covering ETH, let me know down low. I really like to hear the coins that people want to hear and cover. So I'm going to do the best that I can, guys. Typically I can only get to about 4 or 5. So that's what we'll do today, and that's why we're going to throw in Omise Go. It's been making some nice moves. There's something I want to show you on that as well. So that's Bitcoin and Ethereum. Next, we're going to go into Litecoin, sitting at $43.95. Still throwing sell signals for Litecoin. If we take a look into the technical analysis here, we have a 10 sell, 9 neutral, 9 buy, but it's been digging itself out a little bit here. This was much worse the last time we looked at it. I think it was like a 17 sell, and then we had like a 2 buy. So we are digging our way out of that a little bit. And what we need to do is hold support of $41.39 for Litecoin, and we need to get over top of $46.04 is going to be the overhead resistance. But same deal, when you have these trend line breaks, guys, you see how we came back to it, tried to test that trend line, and then we started to fall again. Same deal though, the volume is decreasing right now, and that's just where it's tough. You can almost see in this area as we moved up here, you can almost see a left shoulder, you can almost see a little head, a little right shoulder. Now we haven't broken down through the neckline, and that would be confirmation. So right now this is just a chart pattern, but these are the things you have to look at. We pushed up hard. We got to around $47, $48. We failed. We tried to push up again to that $50. Could not hold $50 and turn it into support. We failed again. We tried again. On less volume, we made it up to $47.25, and then we failed again. So these are the things that I like to look at here. But in the short term, on the 1-day time frame here, you know, you could always put a trend line like this, and if we break down through that trend line, most likely, guys, we're going to have a big dump to the downside. So these are the type of things that I like to look at when I see trend line breaks. I want to take advantage to them, either to the upside or to the downside. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame for Litecoin, see if anything's changing here for us. Just more consolidation, just really moving sideways. We have a lot of chop in here. This is just a tough area. Same deal for the trend line, what I would put right there, and we could see, and then you could even draw another trend line on top and just see if we get a break through the upside there. But it will really tell the story, guys. Trend lines, volume, that type of stuff will really tell you the story. And then if we take a look at our RSI here, just really choppy as well. We're sitting at 58. So for me, of all the coins, Litecoin right now is just more consolidating. I would look for a different play right now. You know, even like Ethereum, how it's sitting at that potential trend line break. If we do get a trend line break out of there and it comes on volume, I feel like it could probably move even more aggressively than Litecoin just because of where it's at dealing with that trend line break. Litecoin still needs to get up over top of, you know, $45. We'd call it $46.26. We need to get up above $48.59. We need to get up above $49.87, then up above that $50. So there's a lot of overhead resistance that Litecoin's dealing with, guys. So just be careful with that one as well. Like I said, kind of watch this trend line, put in those support areas that we would want to see hold, and let's see if we can hold them. So that's Litecoin. Guys, you get something from that. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll move into Omise Go. And what I want to point out with Omise Go, I'm taking a look here, and I want to see if this is going to turn into some type of bullish flag. And I'll show you the reason for that. Not sure yet, though, okay? So typically what we get, and we're going to look at this on the 1-day time frame to start. Okay, so we're looking to see if Omise Go is going to have another push up. So what we had here, this was our big flag pull, okay? So this was our pull on heavy volume. That's exactly what you want. And then typically what you have is decreasing volume as this sells off, and that's what we've been having here. So what we're waiting to see is if we start to have that next move to the upside, and we can actually post another pull here that we can see if it can take us up to around that $3 is going to be the next area of overhead resistance, right around $2.90 up to around that $3 would be the area that I'm targeting here if this does turn into another flag, because in cryptocurrency that's what happens a lot. You get these big pushes, then you have a slight cool off, and then you push up again on heavier volume. And you can see we didn't have massive selling volume up in this area, so that's another sign that this may have another leg up. I'm not saying for sure that it's gonna, guys, but this may have another opportunity to make a nice move to the upside. And if we draw this out here, what I want to do is just put a couple horizontal rays on here. Here's support that we need to hold. We do not want, and we'll turn this green, we don't want to lose $1.38. That's going to be support area. That was previous resistance that we broke up through. We want to hold that as support. Now in terms of overhead resistance, we're going to put in a horizontal ray here, and we're going to go basically pretty close to off the real bodies there, and we'll put this in red. So we would need to break up through $1.89 there, and if we break up through that, that could give us the run up to around that $2.87. And it happens, excuse me guys, it happens really fast. These things happen extremely fast. Now on the 4-hour time frame, we take a look at this. You can see the volume really did dry up here. We have lower highs coming in, higher lows coming in, so still getting that squeezing effect. Like I said, guys, we're trapped right now between $1.40 and that $1.90. We're going to have to see what area happens. You know, we had a little bit more selling here on the 4-hour that you can see, had some bigger selling right down in this area, but this is one that I'm keeping a very close eye on, because if we do start to get that next pull to the upside, that could be the gains that I'm looking for. And that's just me, guys. That's how I like to plan this stuff. I really like to have a plan. Not saying that this has to happen, but that's what happens a lot of the times in the cryptocurrency space. You really get those big pushes on a big pull of volume, and then you'll get that next leg up. And what I want to do is look back through Omise Go here quick and see if I can show you an example of this. So these are kind of little flags just in here, guys, itself, just so you can see. Do you see how we had this big push up here, and then the volume dried up, and then we had that next leg up? Very similar to kind of what we're looking at now, what we're trying to find here. But it's interesting to look through this and see that the downtrend now for Omise Go is finally starting to break after all this time. You know, you could even put a trend line on here, and you can see this potentially is where the trend line break is taking place. So guys, we'll do a very, very rough one right here. What we're going to try to do is get the most touches possible is what you want to do when you're looking at trend lines. So we have a touch here, 2, 3, 4. There's our trend line break right there. That's what we're looking for. And sometimes, guys, even on trend line breaks, you can go up, you can back test before you continue to move higher. But I'm targeting close to around that $2.90 if we are going to have another move to the upside. And if we got over top of that, then we really could run hard really fast, guys. I mean, Omise Go at one point was up to around $30. And right now it's sitting at $1.60. I know we got a nice little pump out of Coinbase here, but this is what needs to come in. We set that higher high from where we were at before. Now we want to set a higher low, and then hopefully that higher high again. So just be cautious, guys. This is an area, but I'm definitely keeping an eye on Omise Go. I want to see if we can get that next leg up if Ethereum continues to move to the upside as well. I think that's what's gonna be the determining factor for us. And then if we take a look at our buys here, we have a 3 sell, 10 neutral, and a 15 buy. On the 1 week time frame, we're looking at a 5 sell, 7 neutral, 14 buy, and then out to the 1 month, we have a 4 sell, 7 neutral, and an 8 buy. So I just want to put this stuff on your radar here. If you like me covering Omise Go, definitely let me know down low. It's one I've always followed, always tracked. I love that it's on Coinbase Pro now, that you don't have to go to some funky website, or I'm sorry, some funky coin exchange or something that's really not the best, you know, the best security and everything to be able to get Omise Go. So it's one that I've definitely kept an eye on when I got into the cryptocurrency space, guys. It was one for me, just talking to the people who are still here, where I picked up, you know, 300 or 400 of them and said, hey, I'm going to stash these away, and if they do well in the long run, then great. You know, if they turn into some type of, you know, half of what Ethereum did or a quarter what Ethereum did, it would be amazing. So it's just one that I like to stash away as well. Like I said, guys, just little bags myself that I hold just in case something happens. But Overall, let me know if you like Omise Go, guys, and we'll keep throwing it in there as well. And hopefully we'll get some Digibyte, XRP, some of that stuff as well. But God bless you all, guys. Have a wonderful day. This is at 8:36 right now. I'm actually going to release it about 10:30, so it's going to be a little bit later. So about an hour and a half from now, it should be coming out, guys. You get something from this, let me know down low. God bless you all. Maranatha.